Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas, and today we have a very interesting video. I've been holding off on kind of making this video because I was preparing myself mentally for the backlash. I was preparing myself for all of the people that believe strongly that the organization Black Lives Matter is truly for them. And I was just visualizing, the worst that it could get. I was visualizing the worst that it could get, and right now I will go ahead and let you know that I don't care. I don't care whether you don't like this channel. I don't care whether you don't like me as a person personally. I don't care whether you don't like my messages, but I will go ahead and warn you guys in terms of where I believe this whole situation is going. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about has to do with fear. And I'm only going to say one thing because this fear really is like the catalyst to everything that has been happening in the world, right? So the Lord tells us that He has not given us a spirit of fear, but He has given us a spirit of power, love, and of a sound mind. Okay? So transitioning from fear, if you look at the state of the world, we have had people looting, destroying other people's businesses, whether those were black people, undercover FBI agents that began that, black people that continued it, people in general that continued it. We were destroying black-owned businesses. We were destroying a lot of different businesses here and there. There are riots, there are fights with the police getting out of hand, people getting out of hand. It's just total destruction. Well, let me go ahead and talk about the strategy of Satan. And I can talk about him personally in my life because I recognize the patterns that he tends to move in. What happens is there is the first thing he operates in the form of what I like to call a strike. That strike is something that is shocking, something that will strike fear into you, something that will traumatize you. So first he needs a strike. So what has he been doing for the past few years? He has been painting the narrative of a white cop and a black victim, right? Whether they were being killed, whether they were being beaten to death, this has been going on for a while, right? So naturally you have an eventual uprising of black people wanting to fight against that, right? Okay, so that's the first thing that he operates in, trauma. So he uses that as a tool to seek or to seep in to whatever that environment is, right? Depending on how we respond to it. The next thing, once he seeps into that specific situation, once he gets into that specific situation, he likes to cause all type of drama. So then as soon as the trauma starts, the drama begins. And so then you start to see total destruction. That came in the form of looting, destroying all of these businesses, people fighting left, right, and center. You have total disillusion. You have total destruction. You have people literally out there fighting for a cause, but fighting in the wrong way. They are fighting the physical manifestation of Satan without fighting Satan himself. You see? And we even have Christians that are falling into this whole pattern of things that Satan is literally the Godhead of, right? So that's number two. He likes to cause destruction. And then 3, 3, after he has caused some type of destruction, what he likes to do is now people are looking for something to latch onto, some type of hope, right? Well, let me tell you something. There is no hope outside of Jesus Christ. There is no hope outside of Jesus Christ. But the people who do not believe in Jesus Christ, and even some Christians who do believe in Jesus Christ, are literally beginning to put their faith in worldly manifestations of things that seem like a hope. And one of those things is Black Lives Matter. And why do I say that? So we have this Black Lives Matter activist. His name is Shaun King. And so he's naturally like, you know, one of the leaders of Black Lives Matters, right? So with that said, what does he do? He says, hey, you know what? Christianity, the image of Christianity, the paintings of Jesus Christ, any type of imagery of Jesus Christ, we need to get rid of that, because that is doing nothing but promoting a white supremacist atmosphere, a white supremacy all over the world. So we need to get rid of, you know, any type of imagery of that, any type of painting of that, any type of you know, the glass, the painted glass on church doors and windows and whatever. We need to get rid of that too. We don't need that imagery. Now, whether Jesus Christ was white, whether he was black, regardless, I don't care. All I know is that Jesus Christ is my King. He is the same yesterday, today, He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and that is not going to change. He is my Godhead. He is the Godhead of Christianity, and he is the God of all. He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Okay? Regardless of whether people want to acknowledge that or not, that is the truth. Period. And you will only get truth on my channel. Now, moving on from that, what does all of this have to do with anything? Now, okay, so people are looking for something to latch onto, right? So they latch on to Black Lives Matter, regardless of whether Black Lives Matter is leading them to in the right direction or not. And then once they latch on to Black Lives Matter, he's going to lead them in a specific direction that is, first, it starts off ever so slightly down a path that is leading them away from Christ, right? So the very first thing is something small. Okay, get rid of that imagery. Get rid of that imagery. He comes in such a way that, you know, it just seems like you can agree with that. Why? Simply put, because, you know, a lot of us believe that the images of Christ aren't real anyway. Now, I'm going to leave that up to you. I really don't care whether they're real or not. I don't look at the images or paintings or statues of Christ. I don't care about those. I care about the being. I care about the person. You see what I'm saying? So with that said, once he leads those people down that specific path, it's going to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And before you know it, you have renounced your belief in Christ. And before you know it, you are fully head on against Jesus Christ, right? Because first thing that Satan likes to do is he likes to get that door cracked just a little bit, He wants to get that door cracked just a tad. And if you just give him that in such a way that you can agree with him, then guess what? He'll take another step and another step and another step. And before you know it, you done ran a 5K with Satan. You done ran a 5K with Satan, and you're so in that environment, latching on to that environment. But guess what? You've walked so far with him that now it's just like you don't even remember where you began. You don't even remember what it was like having a relationship with Christ. And slowly but surely, you're following Satan's agenda. Be careful and pay attention to all of the things that are going on. This is by design. This is by design. And let's start pointing our fingers at the right enemy, which is Satan. Not the physical manifestation of him. But we also have an obligation to raise our hands and tell the truth at that at the physical manifestation of him, while also praying against that. So rise up, stand firm in your faith, and don't waver to the left or to the right. You are not unstable in all your ways. Let's tighten up. Be blessed.